Something strange is happening in Derry again. And if you thought you knew what fear looked like, think again. HBO's It. Welcome to Derry just dropped its first episode, and it doesn't waste a second before sinking its claws into you. It's unsettling, mysterious, and packed with those slow-building chills that only Stephen King's universe can deliver. The show perfectly captures the sense that something is deeply wrong beneath the surface. A familiar town, hiding unspeakable evil. And by the end of this episode, you'll realize nobody is safe. What makes this premiere so bold is that it does the unthinkable. It introduces us to a group of characters we expect to follow through the entire season, only to brutally kill them off before the credits roll. It's shocking, but also brilliant. A reminder that in Derry, death doesn't just happen. It lingers. The story begins at the Capitol Theater, a place that immediately feels cursed. Hank, the father of Ronnie, works there, and it's the same spot where young Maddie was last seen 4 months earlier. Ronnie's father is blamed for the boy's disappearance, which adds a layer of tension that reflects the racism and paranoia of the era. This isn't just a horror story about monsters. It's a horror story about America in the 1960s, where fear and suspicion were everywhere. Maddie's opening scenes set a chilling tone. Alone, cold, and unwanted, he walks the empty streets of Derry like a ghost before the terror even begins. We get hints that his home life is rough, maybe even abusive, and all he wants is to leave this suffocating town behind. But Derry doesn't let people go that easily. When a passing family offers him a ride, it feels like his luck might finally be turning. But that illusion shatters fast. The mother suddenly goes into labor in the car, and what follows is one of the most disturbing births you'll ever see on television. The baby that emerges isn't human. It's some kind of hideous, two-headed creature. And in seconds, it attacks Maddie, dragging him into the darkness. That's when you realize Pennywise is back. He's not wearing clown makeup this time, but his evil is already spreading, infecting the innocent. Even in these early moments, the show layers in clever details. The film playing in the theater, The Music Man, repeats the word trouble over and over like a sinister warning. Later, characters mention hearing that same tune echoing through the pipes, a haunting reminder that Derry itself is alive and whispering. In The Music Man, a con artist arrives in a small town pretending to help people. A perfect mirror for Pennywise, the ultimate manipulator who lures his victims in with false promises. Maddie thought he was escaping Derry, but the family that picked him up drove him right back into its heart. The town quite literally pulled him home to his doom. That sense of being trapped, of never being able to leave, feels eerily familiar to anyone who's seen the series from, where townsfolk are imprisoned by invisible evil. Here, it's Pennywise's domain, and he's already feeding. The episode's circular storytelling is genius. It opens at the Capitol Theater, and it ends there too. The perfect full-circle nightmare. As The Music Man plays on the big screen, Maddie's face appears, accusing his friends of letting him die. It's clearly Pennywise speaking through him, twisting guilt and grief into weapons. The three friends, Phil, Teddy, and Lily, are crushed with guilt. They blame themselves for Maddie's disappearance, and Pennywise knows it. He always knows which wounds to cut open. When chaos erupts in the theater, more people die, and once again, the town turns its suspicions toward Hank, Ronnie's father. The tragedy becomes a reflection of the time period, when being black in a mostly white town meant you were often blamed before anyone even asked questions. The writers smartly use this to explore how prejudice and fear go hand in hand, both in society and in Derry's supernatural curse. The final line of the episode echoes a quote from The Music Man. "An idle mind is the devil's playground." It's chilling because that's exactly how Pennywise operates, crawling into the minds of the lost and broken until they destroy themselves from within. He is the devil's playground. What's fascinating is how the show makes us misread Maddie's role at first. With his pale face and lonely energy, he looks like the kind of kid who might become a monster. But in a dark twist, it's the normal family that turns out to be monstrous. That small flip in expectation sets the tone for the rest of the series. Nothing is what it seems, and everyone is vulnerable. Now, let's talk about this generation's Losers Club. In this timeline, we follow Lily, Phil, Teddy, and a few others who form the emotional core of the episode. Lily's backstory is heartbreaking. Her father died in a freak accident at the pickle jar factory, crushed while trying to retrieve one of her toys. Since then, she's been haunted by guilt and bullied by classmates who cruelly joke that her dad's body parts are still trapped in jars. She's treated like a crazy girl, sent to Juniper Hill, the psychiatric hospital in Derry we've seen before in Stephen King's stories. When Lily hears Maddie's voice whispering through the pipes, it's like a cruel reminder of the one person who ever showed her kindness. He once gave her a turtle charm, a small but meaningful symbol for anyone who remembers the mythos of it, where the turtle represents cosmic good. But that comfort doesn't last long. Pennywise twists even that gesture into horror, making Maddie's bloody hand appear through the bracelet. He tells Lily he's not allowed to leave. It's one of those moments that's equal parts tragic and terrifying. Meanwhile, Teddy's fear manifests differently. He's haunted by visions of a lampshade made from human skin, a disturbing reference to Nazi concentration camps. When that lampshade begins to move and groan, covered in faces, it's one of the episode's most shocking jump scares. It's classic psychological horror. Fear rooted in human cruelty, twisted by something far worse. Phil and his younger sister Susie get pulled into the chaos, and their deaths at the Capitol Theater are brutal, sudden, and deeply unfair. Lily is left alive, but not spared. Pennywise doesn't need to kill her to destroy her. He knows that the town will do the rest. She'll be labeled delusional, locked away in Juniper Hill again, and left to rot under the weight of disbelief. That's Derry's real curse. It silences the survivors. The episode's other major thread follows Major Hanlon, a military pilot stationed nearby. His story feels like a window into the larger world beyond Derry, a country unraveling under paranoia and racism. Despite his rank and skill, Hanlon faces constant disrespect from white soldiers who see only the color of his skin. When masked intruders break into his quarters demanding classified information about the new B-52 bomber, it's clear he's caught in something far bigger than himself, maybe even a government conspiracy. Hanlon's storyline captures the mood of the 1960s perfectly: the Cold War, the nuclear panic, and the ever-growing mistrust in authority. You can feel the tension of a country on edge, ready to explode. Whether or not the Air Force Base ties directly into Pennywise's presence remains to be seen, but the eerie connection between fear, secrecy, and control makes it fit seamlessly into Derry's mythology. By the end of the episode, the themes all connect: fear, guilt, and control. Whether it's Pennywise manipulating the kids or the government manipulating the public, the result is the same. People turn on each other. Evil feeds on fear, and Derry is overflowing with it. Now, let's talk about the production itself. You can tell from the first frame that HBO poured everything into this show. The visuals are moody and cinematic: dark blues, dim lights, long silences broken by sudden chaos. The opening scene alone feels like a short film. The way it contrasts stillness and horror, Maddie's lonely walk against the nightmare in the car, is pure craftsmanship. The acting is top tier too. The young cast, especially Maddie, Lily, and Teddy, sell the fear and heartbreak perfectly. And Major Hanlon adds a grounded, human element that keeps the story from becoming just supernatural spectacle. He's the kind of character you want to follow: brave, calm, and quietly haunted. And then there's that ending. 5 minutes of pure, unapologetic carnage. Blood on the walls, bodies flying, screams echoing through the theater. It's chaos in the best possible way. When Teddy smashes into that window, it's one of those moments that makes you actually flinch. The camera movement, the scream, the lighting. It's straight out of vintage 60s horror, done with modern precision. Sure, the visual effects aren't flawless. The mutant baby, for instance, looks a bit surreal. But how could it not? It's supposed to feel wrong, otherworldly, and impossible. It's nightmare fuel, and it works. What's most impressive is how Welcome to Derry manages to feel both huge and personal. In just one 50-minute episode, it gives us a complete story: fear, tragedy, heartbreak, and still leaves enough mystery to keep us hooked. It's confident, bold television. HBO knows exactly what it's doing here. If this first episode is any indication, Welcome to Derry isn't just another horror prequel. It's a full-fledged psychological descent into fear itself, and the terrifying idea that maybe, just maybe, evil doesn't die. It waits. So, what did you think of the premiere? Was it everything you hoped for, or did that final twist catch you off guard? Drop your thoughts below, because if this episode proved anything, it's that in Derry, nobody gets out clean.